Election Day, 1860, is held on November 6th. Within just 4 days, when it was clear that Lincoln had won, South Carolina is actually calling for a states convention to discuss secession. And a month later, basically, December 20th, South Carolina is the first state to secede from the Union, and we start to see a massive wave of secession of southern states, particularly the lower South. And anything lower than South Carolina is going to immediately resign within the next 2 months. So much of the lower South secedes from the Union. By the time we get to February 1st, 7 states have seceded from the Union. The last of the first states to secede is going to be Texas, and it's going to secede by February 1st. So representatives of all of these 7 states are going to get together, and they're going to discuss what's going on, to organize. First of all, they had to come up with a new constitution, and it's almost word for word the American Constitution. There's a couple of differences, but for the most part, the United States Constitution and the Confederate Constitution very, very similar. And then, of course, they need to elect a president of the Confederate States of America. And they're going to turn to a very logical choice, on paper at least. His name was Jefferson Davis. Listen to this resume. His father and uncles were Revolutionary War veterans. His older brothers served in the War of 1812. Davis himself was educated at West Point, served in the Mexican War as a colonel. He's a U.S. representative from Mississippi at one time, Secretary of War under Franklin Pierce, perhaps the best Secretary of War in American history. And at the time of Mississippi's secession, he is going to actually be U.S. Senator. The funny thing is that he doesn't want the job, but ultimately, when he's elected, when the Confederacy says, you're going to be our first president, he has no choice but to accept. Now, with a new constitution coming about and a new president to rival the president of the United States has now been elected, what is the federal government going to do? Remember, this is before Lincoln has been inaugurated president of the United States. Well, we're going to see that reaction is very, very minimal.